The hardest working committee in the Nevada State Legislature, the Assembly Committee on Education, is convened. Will the secretary please call the roll?
Assembly members De Silva, Dahlia, DeLong, Flanagan, Hanson, Hardy, Hunt, Koenig, LaRue Hatch, Mosca, Orntlicker, and Chair Torres Fawcett.
Welcome to the audience here in Carson City, those joining by video conference in Las Vegas, and those listening over the internet. Couple housekeeping items. Please remember to silence your electronic devices. If you wish to testify, please sign in at the table by the door and provide a business card to the committee staff. Electronic copies should have already been provided to our staff. Members of the public may provide testimony in a bill, either in person or by phone. The meeting agenda is available on Nellis. Public comment will be taken at the end of the meeting. Each person will be limited to 2 minutes. We expect courtesy and respect in our interactions during the meeting, even if we do not agree with another person's position. Committee members will be using their laptops to view handouts and other documents. Please don't view this as a sign of disrespect or inattention. At this time, we're going to go ahead and open our work session. We will not be going in order. We will go ahead and start with AB 386.
Thank you, Chair. Kelly Lower, Committee Policy Analyst. As nonpartisan staff, I may neither support nor oppose any measure before the committee. Our first measure is Assembly Bill 386. This revises provisions relating to assessments administered to pupils to assess reading proficiency. This bill is sponsored by Assemblymember Golding, and the committee heard this measure on March 18th. Assembly Bill 386 requires the State Board of Education to approve by regulation at least 2 standards-based assessments that the Board of Trustees of a school district or the governing body of a charter school may choose from to assess pupils' proficiency in the subject area of reading. Assemblymember Golding proposed an amendment making the following changes. 1. Require the Board of Trustees for each school district or the governing body of a charter school to submit for approval a plan and procedures to Nevada's Department of Education for assessing a pupil's proficiency in reading using valid and reliable standards-based assessments for each elementary grade level as needed. 2. Authorize Nevada's Department of Education to adopt regulations prescribing how the Board of Trustees of a school district or the governing body of a charter school collects and reports the results of such assessments. The department may provide for its own assessment to be adopted by school districts that do not otherwise select their own. 3. Removes subsection 2 of section 1 added by this bill, requiring the State Board of Education to approve by regulation at least 2 standards-based assessments to assess a pupil's reading proficiency for the selection of the Board of Trustees of a school district or governing body of a charter school. 4, adds Assemblymember Hunt as a co-sponsor, and 5, changes the effective date to October 1, 2025.
Members, are there any questions? Doesn't appear there's any. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to amend and do pass. I have the motion from Assemblymember Hunt, and I have the second from Assemblymember Hanson. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? This motion does carry and pass unanimously. I'll sign that floor statement to Assemblymember Golding.
Thank you, Chair. Kelly Lower, Committee Policy Analyst. The next measure on work session is Assembly Bill 426, which revises provisions relating to the organization of large school districts. This bill is sponsored by Assemblymember Karras. The committee heard this measure on April 10th. Assemblymember Karras proposed the following amendments to AB 426. 1, add Assemblymember Gonzalez as a co-sponsor. 2, require local school precinct principals to call for a meeting and receive approval of the school organizational team and the associate school superintendent prior to making any budgetary adjustments over $80,000 for an elementary or middle school and $125,000 for a high school. Expenditure adjustments under these limits may be made upon consultation of the associate school superintendent and school organizational team. 3, delete subsection 5 of section 5, which permits a school organizational team member to complete the term to which they were elected if their child is no longer a pupil enrolled at the local school precinct. 4, provide that an organizational team member vacancy is to be filled by the next potential member from the prior election slate. 5, provide that an organizational team must establish a list of qualifications for the superintendent of a large school district, which the team recommends as desirable in a candidate for the role of a local school precinct principal. And 6, amend subsection 4 of section 6 to require large school districts to examine a list of at least 5, but not more than 10 candidates when seeking to fill a principal vacancy.
Members, are there any questions in regard to the amendment? At this time, I'll entertain a motion to amend and do pass. I have the motion from Vice Chair De Silva. Do I have a second? I have the second from Assemblymember Dahlia. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? I have 2 nays. Can you please raise your hands? Assemblymember LaRue Hatch and Assemblymember Flanagan. Any further? I don't see anyone else. This motion does pass. I will assign that floor statement to Assemblymember Karras. We'll continue on to AB 445.
Thank you, Chair Kelly Lower, Committee Policy Analyst. The next measure on work session is Assembly Bill 445, which revises provisions relating to libraries. This bill is sponsored by Assemblymember Monroe Moreno. The committee heard this measure on April 3rd. Assemblymember Torres Fawcett proposed an amendment for this bill which removes all provisions from the bill except those in subsection 5 of section 1 and subsection 4 of section 2, which provides staff members of certain libraries immunity from criminal liability for certain acts relating to their duties, including providing access or assisting pupils or public library patrons in accessing library materials of a school or public library.
Members, are there any further discussion? And I do want to just state for the record, too, that the Assembly member had accepted the amendment that I had provided as well. So I know it has my name on that, but that it was a conversation that I had had with Assembly member Monroe Moreno, and she did approve that. At this time, I will entertain a motion to amend and do pass. I have the motion from Assembly member LaRue Hatch. Do I have a second? I have the second from Assembly member Hunt. Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? This motion does carry and pass unanimously, and I'll assign that floor statement to Assemblymember Monroe Moreno.
Thank you, Chair. Kelly Lower, Committee Policy Analyst. The next measure on work session is Assembly Bill 464, which revises provisions governing education. This bill is sponsored by Assemblymember Miller. The committee heard this measure on April 10th. Assemblymember Miller proposed an amendment for AB 464, making the following changes. 1. Remove Section 1 of the bill relating to expanding curricula standards. 2. Add language prohibiting any educational entity, administrator, or teacher in Nevada from removing or refusing to use any existing academic standards of content and performance for courses of study in English language arts, science, health, social studies, or the arts relating to certain topics such as human rights violations, cultural diversity through history and the arts, civic knowledge and engagement, social and intercultural communication, and human development. 3, clarify that it is unlawful for any educational entity or employee of such to take certain actions, demote, suspend, terminate any employee of such an entity based on the employee's personal characteristics, traits, and affiliations, including their religious or social independent participation. 4, change the effective date upon passage and approval. Assemblymember Torres Fawcett proposed an amendment revising subsection 1 of section 2, as well as the amendment in the Assemblymember Miller's amendment on that same section, which prohibits a direct supervisor or supervisory body from taking certain actions of professional retribution, including termination, demotion, suspension, and refusal of merit pay against an employee based on their political affiliation. A violation of this provision by any direct supervisor must result in the termination of such a supervisor, and an elected or appointed member on the Board of Trustees of a school district who violates this provision is guilty of a misdemeanor.
Members, are there any questions in regard to the amendment? It doesn't appear that there are any. At this time, I'll accept a motion to amend and do pass, and that would be accepting the amendments proposed by Assemblymember Miller, as well as the amendments that I had proposed and discussed with Assemblymember Miller. I have the motion from Assemblymember LaRue Hatch. Is there a second? Is there a second? I have the second from Assemblymember Dahlia. Any further discussion? At this time, we'll go ahead and take a vote. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? I have the nays from Assemblymember Hanson, Assemblymember Hardy, Assemblymember DeLong, and Assemblymember Koenig. Thank you. This motion does pass. So we will go ahead and assign that floor statement to Assemblymember Miller.
Thank you, Chair. The next measure on work session is Assembly Bill 495, which revises provisions relating to charter schools. This bill is sponsored by the Assembly Committee on Education. The committee heard this measure on April 10th. Assemblymember Torres Fawcett proposed the following amendments for this measure. 1, revise subsection 1 of section 1, stating that if a charter school receives the lowest annual rating under the statewide system of accountability for public schools in 3 out of any 3 consecutive school years, the sponsor of the charter school must terminate the contract or restart the charter school. 2, remove subsection 2 of section 1, which provides that a charter school's annual performance rating according to the statewide system of accountability before the 2015 through 2016 school year may not be included in the count of annual ratings for the purposes of subsection 1 of section 1. 3, revises subsection 7 of section 1 to not require a charter school sponsor to terminate a charter contract or restart a charter school if the school has achieved an index score of at least A, 5 points within the index score corresponding to the second lowest rating under the statewide system of accountability, or B, 10 points within the index score corresponding to the second lowest rating under the statewide system of accountability, and the school achieved a 50% increase in total index points from the previous rating period under the statewide system of accountability. These amendatory provisions become effective upon passage and approval and expire by limitation on October 1, 2026. And 4, require Nevada's Department of Education, the NDE, to review the statewide accountability system for public schools by June 30, 2026, with support from an advisory group comprised of various stakeholders. The review will inform the creation of a Nevada school performance framework that aligns with Nevada academic content standards, economic mobility outcomes, and career readiness, while minimizing reporting burdens. The NDE is also required to ensure compliance with federal requirements for funding under the Elementary and Secondary Education Act.
Members, are there any questions in regard to the amendment? At this time, I'll entertain a motion to amend and to pass. I have the motion from Assemblymember Lou Hatch. Do I have a second? I have a second from Assemblymember Hanson. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? This motion does carry and pass unanimously, and I'll assign that floor statement to myself. At this time, I'll go ahead and close the work session, and we'll go ahead and move on to public comment. Do I have anyone wishing to testify in public comment here in Carson City? Seeing none, do I have anyone? I don't see anyone. I see someone in Las Vegas, but I don't see anyone rushing for public comment in Las Vegas. AVH, is there anyone on the line wishing to testify in public comment?
Chair, the public lines are open and working. However, there are no callers at this time.
Thank you. 1 minute recess. The Assembly Committee on Education will reconvene. At this time, I'll go ahead and open the work session on AB 205.
Thank you, Chair. Kelly Lower, Committee Policy Analyst. Assembly Bill 205 revises provisions governing sexual education. The bill is sponsored by Assemblymember Golding, and the committee heard this measure on March 4th. Assembly Bill 205 revises provisions governing the written notice that a school district must provide to a parent or guardian of a pupil offered a course or unit of instruction in sexual education from a form of consent to a form of refusal for the pupil's participation in the course or unit. Additionally, the bill provides that the form may be made available on the school district's secure website and must allow parents or guardians to refuse authorization for a single school year or all future school years while their child is enrolled. Assemblymember Golding proposed an amendment requiring school districts to issue a written notice to the parents or guardians of pupils each school year in which a sexual education course or unit is offered. This notice must be issued within the first 4 weeks of the school year or before the instruction begins, whichever comes first. Additionally, the amendment revises the way a parent or guardian can refuse a pupil's participation in a sexual education course or unit, permitting a parent or guardian to do so at any point in the school year in which such a course or unit is offered.
Members, is there any discussion in regard to the amendment? Seeing none, at this time I'll entertain a motion to amend and do pass. I have the motion from Assemblymember Dahlia, and then I'll take the second from Assemblymember Flanagan. Any further discussion? Assemblymember Hanson.
Thank you, Chair. And so I'm going to be a no. I know that's no surprise. I know we've had these discussions for numerous sessions, and the bill has not really ever made it because I think a lot of us have the discomfort that the default setting in this bill would be you are opted in rather than the way it is currently now. You're opted out and you opt in. And the majority of parents, as we heard in the hearing, are opting in. I know there's concern, and I share these, that we do have some children that don't have parental advocacy, such as foster children, homeless children. And after the hearing, I think we talked maybe a possibility of having those children that don't have that advocacy be the default opt-in, and the rest of the children still remain as is in current practice. I've not seen that amendment. I've talked with the sponsor. I think she was trying to make that work. We're not there, so I'm going to have to be no. And just for the record, the response I've had from constituents is 78% are against taking away the ability of parents to from where it is now to 22% were in favor of this bill. So glad to have some more conversations, but at this point, I'm a no. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, at this time we'll go ahead and take a vote. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Nay. I have a nay from Assemblymember Hanson, Assemblymember Hardy, Assemblymember DeLong, and Assemblymember Koenig. Thank you. At this time, we'll go ahead and go to public comment once again. I apologize. I'll send that floor statement to Assemblymember Golding. I do not see anybody here in Carson City for public comment, and I do not see anyone in Las Vegas for public comment. AVH, is there anyone on the line wishing to testify in public comment?
Thank you, Chair. The public lines are open and working. However, there are no callers at this time.
Thank you. At this time, the Assembly Committee on Education is adjourned.